Hello and welcome. Today we are inside of a 2011 Ford Explorer. Let's take a look under the hood. So this Ford Explorer is powered by a 3.5 liter V6, producing about 290 horsepower, along with 255 pound-feet of torque. This is the outside of the Explorer. It rides on 17-inch wheels, along with 265 width tires, 245, correction. This Explorer is a 3-row family SUV with seating for up to 7. This is an XLT model with 4-wheel drive, and it does have roof runners as well as roof racks. It has some nice chrome trim along with plastic trim throughout. Let's take a look in the back seat. So, this Ford Explorer does not have too much room in the back seat in terms of leg room. I'm about 6 feet tall and my knees do bump into the driver's seat, but headroom above is about an extra 3 inches beyond this. There are rear seat climate controls with positioning and temperature and fan speed adjustments back here, so it is a pretty good setup there. The middle seat is not too usable in this, but the 2 main seats are pretty warm and they are pretty large. They do have rear seated seats back here. This car does have side curtain airbags as well as the front too. Let's check out the cargo area of this Explorer. So this is a 3-row SUV, so of course here are the third row of seats. And beyond that, it does have a very deep cubby for cargo storage. And it does have a typical charging port back here, which you can use for accessories, along with another storage compartment right there. There are seats back here, just 2 third-row seats, but there are a cup holders on each side for those in the 3rd row. Okay, so some of the features inside of this Ford Explorer. For one, it does have a leather interior. There are some soft touch materials throughout this interior, but a lot of them are very stiff and not too well upholstered. But it is expected to be a family SUV. Such as the entire dash is actually hard, cheap plastic, but that's expected on a SUV of this grade. This does have a part analog and part digital dash, as you can see. It has a very small RPM gauge over there. That's digital. The center speedo is an analog gauge. And then on the right, you can control entertainment and other features of this car. So this has a rear backup camera, as you can see. It does not have a 360 camera or any other camera angles, but it does have the tracking lines as well as parking sensors. This infotainment system also has the controls for the climate inside of here. So you can control all the modes throughout there, and the temperature and fan speed, along with the front heated seats as well in this car. This does have a 5-speed automatic, if I am correct. It may be a 6-speed. I'll include that in the description below, the exact specs. But it does have the typical auto, selections. And it does have a manual mode where right here on the shifter, you can control your gears, as this is a traditional automatic with true gears. This car does have about 4 drive modes, including a hill descent mode. It has standard economy mode. It has something that looks like a forest mode. It has a sand mode as well as a snow mode. And it does have a full 4-wheel drive system, which is controllable. For the center console of this car, most of the controls are not traditional buttons. They are these touch-sensitive sensors. But they're pretty reliable thus far. I know some of the more modern Hondas and Cadillacs that use these have had a lot of problems, but these Ford ones have held up well, they're reliable, and they are not too finicky. The visibility outside of this Explorer is pretty good. It is a car-based SUV, but it has very large windows. It does have very thin A-pillars, which is surprising up front, but it does suffer, like most SUVs, from a thick rear pillar on each side. There is no sunroof in this particular Explorer, but it does have some nice steering wheel controls, which is found in the higher trims. This car weighs about 6,000 pounds, which is not too terrible for this car, versus a similar truck-based SUV would normally be much heavier. The seats up front, they have pretty slim bolstering overall. They have basically non-existent leg bolstering, but the body bolsters up top are adequate. This car is pretty comfortable. It has a neutral seating position. You do feel a little bit as though you're sitting down inside of the front, but it is adequate once again. This car gets about 14 mpg city, 20 mpg highway, averaging out to about 17 miles per gallon. And it has full auto windows up front, as well as power mirrors and factory blind spot mirrors on each side. And that's gonna about do it for this features review. Be sure to tune in to the next video upload, which is a POV driving review of this particular vehicle. Thank you for watching.